Hello there! This tutorial will help you build 5-Star Storage's top-selling organizational product. Before beginning, make sure you roll up your sleeves, your hair is tied back in a bun or ponytail if it is shoulder length or longer, nothing is on your wrists or neck, and before entering the lab, please put on your ANSI Z87 marking safety glasses, and please make sure you're wearing closed-toed shoes. Find a piece of 1/2-inch birch plywood and measure and cut it using the miter saw to 9 by 10 inches. Once measured, set the miter saw's turntable to 0 and place the plywood up against the back fence. In this case, the material is too long to safely cut the piece. So, Allegra loosened the back knob and pulled the machine forward in order to push it down and pull it back, so that way she doesn't injure the people around her in the lab. It is important that you never pull the blade towards you, because that could hurt you and the people around you. Use the leftover wood that you cut to measure and cut a 4x4 piece of plywood. Set the miter saw's turntable to 0 and place the plywood up against the back fence. Put 4 fingers on the top of the material and your thumb on the side facing you to ensure it stays in place. Make sure your hand is not in the way of the blade, which is usually 1 to 2 inches away. Without pressing any buttons, line up the blade where you want to cut it. Once you are ready to begin, squeeze the button at the top and wait for the blade to spin. Once the blade is spinning, slowly go down and cut the material. Once you've fully cut through the material, release the handle and put the miter saw blade back to its original position. Using that same piece, measure a 3-inch circle 2 inches away from the top and bottom edge, and use that cutting piece and put it on the drill press. Once you've done that, use the drill press, line up the drill press, and use the lever to pull it down without turning the machine on. Use the table clamps to make sure that the piece stays still. Line up the drill press and use the lever and pull down without turning the machine on to make sure that it will stay. Return the lever to its original position, turn on the machine, and drill down. Once you fully cut through the material, turn off the machine and turn the lever back to its starting position. Use the remaining piece of birch plywood and measure a 4x4 inch piece. Make sure your hands are not too close to the blade, but just close enough. In this demonstration, Allegra did not hold down the pieces correctly, therefore she allowed the wood to come to her, which could result in her or somebody else getting injured. Use the remaining piece of plywood and measure a 4-inch by 4-inch piece of plywood. Set the miter saw's turntable to 0 and place the plywood up against the back fence. Put 4 fingers at the top of the material and your thumb facing you to ensure it stays in place. Without pushing any buttons, line up the blade where you want to cut. Once you're ready to begin, squeeze the button at the top and wait for the blade to spin. Once the blade is spinning, go down and cut the material. Once you've cut through the material fully, release the handle and place the miter saw back to its original position. Use the birch plywood and measure an 8x4 piece of plywood. After cutting the piece, measure 3 3/4 up from the short edge. Once done, set the table saw blade to 1/4 up to 1/2 inch thick. Use a teammate in the lab to help you with these steps. Place the side that has the marking up and set it even with the blade without turning the machine on. Once completed, set the fence up against the plywood piece. Once done, remove the wood away from the machine and grab a push stick. Turn the machine on and push the piece through. Once your hands get close enough to the blade, use the push stick through the rest of the material through the blade. Your teammate should be on the other side to grab the material once it's been cut through the blade. Next, you're going to wood glue all the pieces together and then use a nail gun. Nail guns weren't available at the time of the filming of this video, so do with that what you will. And then you're going to spray paint the pieces black. Thank you for watching our demonstration and lab work video to properly make this product.